things you could potentially be doing in your business to sabotage your marketing and talk to you about how to stop doing those things. As you're coming in, please do me a favor and share this out on your timelines. Invite some friends to join us. I'm not going to take up too much of your time this morning as I have to run out of the house, but it was really important for me to come on live. Super quick, before we jump in to today's live stream, I am hosting a free webinar tonight called Level Up Your Brand and Your Rates. You can visit the link in my bio or the link in the description box above to register. Even if you can't join us live at 9 p.m. Eastern, if you register, you will have access to the replay for 48 hours only. Second announcement, if you are in the Chicagoland area or willing to travel there on September 19th, I am hosting a sales and branding focused mastermind. It's called Hashtags and Bombshells Chicago Edition. If you want to come, we have 4 seats left. You can visit the same link above to get your tickets for that. So let's jump in and talk about 4 things you may be doing to sabotage your marketing. I see this a lot on social media and even with people that I have consultations with, and I want to make sure that we're starting to develop healthy habits and good habits for business as we get ready to approach 2020. You all, we are in September. Q4 is around the corner. It is just 3 weeks away. The new year will be here before you know it. Let's get out of the habit of waiting until December 31st, or in some cases January 1st, to make the changes in our business that will help us see results. And let's go ahead and make those changes now. So the first mistake you could be making with your marketing is not tracking your analytics and not tracking your visitors. It is mind-blowing how many people have no idea where their customers are coming from. If you're marketing on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube and you're making sales, how do you actually know which of those platforms is bringing in the customers if you don't actually make time to track your analytics every month? If you use any website building tool, WordPress and Squarespace, Shopify, they all have analytics tools. Make it a habit on the last day of each month, or maybe the first day of each month, to go into those analytics and start to look at them. Make a spreadsheet, track things, track how your growth is trending month over month, track which platform is bringing in the most money month over month. What you may find will actually help you to hone in and focus on where you need to really focus your efforts and invest your advertising dollars. I know for a lot of people, our gut instinct is to run ads on maybe Facebook or Instagram, but you might find that you should instead be running Google ads because maybe YouTube is bringing in a lot of money for you. So it may make more sense to put more of your money over there, or vice versa. It may make more sense for you to put a bigger budget into Facebook ads versus other platforms. So a very simple tool that you can use outside of your own website platform is Google Analytics. I know it's a lot to look at, y'all. And I know it can be difficult to comprehend, but if you go to Grow with Google online, just type that into Google. They have free training classes on all of their tools and much more, so you can actually spend the time learning how to review it. Or you can have someone on your team spend the time learning how to review it and actually outsource it to them. Tracking your website traffic tells you where your web visitors are coming from, what pages are the most attractive, where people are spending the most of their time, how fast they're leaving your site, if people are actually making clicks, if they're buying things, all of that. That helps you to also understand how to make certain pages stand out more. Sometimes we feel like we have a bad product or service if it's not selling, when in actuality, you just don't have the right type of sales page or the right content, the right eye-catching things to make somebody actually interested in spending the money and investing on a service. So these types of things can help you. If you are finding that you're getting a lot of traffic and a lot of clicks, your marketing is great on social media or wherever you're marketing, but something's happening on the website if you're not seeing sales that's making them not purchase and not buy. So instead of going and recreating a wheel, actually spend some time diagnosing what's happening with your business. So take time to track, put that on your calendar. Just go ahead, pull your calendar out now and schedule for the last day of the month or the first day of the next month to actually review your analytics. Another really great platform to look at is your Facebook Insights. If you use Facebook for marketing, your Facebook Insights have so much good data. They show you your engagement, your post reach, the demographics of who likes your content. I know Instagram has analytics. Don't sleep also on your social media analytics and your email analytics as well. You want to look at all of those things as a whole versus in separate silos, okay? So moving on super quick, the next step is not focusing on your ideal customer or client in your marketing. I know y'all hear this at length already, but it's so true. Sometimes we cast such a wide net with our marketing message that we actually catch nobody versus being really honed in and niched in. If you're too generic with your marketing, people tend to ignore it. I see this a lot with my beauty brands. I do own my own cosmetics company, but I see a lot of my beauty babes posting pictures of their product and just putting like heart eyes in the comments and then shop online, and that's really that. But they're not actually spending time building a relationship with their customers or building rapport. I recognize that social media marketing and email marketing is a lot, but you have to do it right. You can't halfway do this. You can't put one foot in and one foot out. You have to be all in or not in at all. And so I know it can be frustrating and it can be a lot, but ultimately when you choose to be an entrepreneur, you're signing up for all of that work. So you have to spend way more time thinking about your storytelling and speaking directly to who your customer is, okay? Getting laser focused on their interests and their needs. What do they want to know about this, about whatever it is you talk about or you teach on? Do I actually offer what they want, and do they know that? Am I really calling out to the forefront that I have a product or service that will do X, Y, and Z and help them to see A, B, and C type of results? Oftentimes we just talk about the product and what it's about, but we're not very clear on the expected deliverables or the objectives or why they should even spend their money. And I also think too, especially people who do services or digital products and classes, like we always think it's about the money, but I would argue that it's really about the time. If I'm going to sign up for your course, it's going to take me 12 months to complete. Like you better tell me what life after them 12 months is going to look like and what life after each module is going to look like, because I'm going to invest in my time, and time is the most valuable resource that we have. So don't always go to, oh, they just don't like the price point. It may be we aren't doing a really good job of communicating the actual value of exchanging that time and energy into the product that you sell. Okay. So getting into our next mistake is inconsistency. And this is one of the biggest self-sabotaging things you can do in business, being inconsistent. We hear all the time about how saturated everybody's market is. No matter what it is you do, you have competition. And when you disappear off the face of the earth, you're basically creating room for your competition to thrive. We have to remember that we are not the only people that our ideal customers follow. We are not the only person whose email list they're on. So if we're going ghost for weeks and months at a time, we are no longer top of mind. We are no longer the first person they think of. We're no longer the program that they're saving their money for. You're creating space for other people. And I get it. I get that inconsistency really comes from a place of being overwhelmed and or procrastinating, but you have to figure out what the solution is to that for you. And typically that looks like creating a system and sticking with it. And for me, I had to learn that my system and my process does not look like everybody else's, okay? What works for me may not work for you, but you do need to spend the time figuring out what does versus just completely disappearing, right? And inconsistency goes beyond just posting on Instagram every day. Like this is bigger than that. I'm talking about inconsistency with self-promotion, inconsistency with your videos, inconsistency with your email, inconsistency with your delivery, inconsistency with your client base. Like it all trickles down. Like those small decisions or lack of decisions that you make in one instance can have a trickle-down effect and show itself in every other facet of your business. And I don't think we talk enough about how, our actions show itself in our customers and our clients. 9 times out of 10, if you are exhibiting a certain kind of behavior, the people that you're going to attract will have that same behavior. So if you don't commit, and you don't show up, you're going to get clients who don't commit and who don't show up. If you don't like to invest, you're going to attract people who don't like to invest. If you don't like to carve out time to do the hard things, you're going to attract people who aren't going to carve out time to do the hard things. If your stuff isn't in order, and let's say you do web design, you're going to keep getting clients whose stuff ain't in order either, and their project's going to be very hard and complex. I'm just saying, a lot of times we have to look within and think about what changes or shifts do we need to make with our own behaviors and mindset in order to attract the right people. So I want you to think through, when I say inconsistency, I don't want you to just give yourself a pass because you're on Instagram every day. The inconsistency goes beyond posting online. So if you are struggling with being consistent with your output, one thing you could actually consider doing is actually taking a day or two, sometimes more, depending upon how complex your business is, taking a day or two, going somewhere and getting your stuff in order. So I love work retreats. I this is just me. You can do this at home or the library, co-working space. For me, I personally prefer to go get a hotel somewhere, ideally out of town. But if I'm short on time, I'll just go to someplace really nice in my city, and I take my tabletop easel board. I take my laptop. I take my legal pads, my Post-it notes, my pens, my markers, and I do strategic planning for whatever it is that I'm struggling to get out. Whether that's this month's content, whether that's my next service, whether that's what the rest of my quarter is going to look. If you follow me regularly, I did a vlog about a trip I took to Tampa 2 months ago, where I just basically threw my whole business plan out the window and redid my plan for June through December. And I had to do that because I experienced so much growth and hit so many of my goals fast that I'm like, okay, I need to make a whole new plan. But I was struggling to get that done here because here at home and in my office, I'm very easily distracted by present things like my current clients and who's sending this email and who wants to talk now, who wants me to go to this meeting and I need to do this event. It's easy to get distracted by those just-in-time things. And those just-in-time things build up, and then you wake up, it's December 31st, and you haven't really done the things you've wanted to do on a strategic level. That's called working on the business versus working in the business, right? I've struggled, I'm just going to be honest, I've struggled with this so much because I'm a hustler, okay? I am a hustler through and through. I side hustled for 4+ years, and I'm just used to the grind, and I'm used to just always doing all of the things. And I've had to reprogram my own behavior and my own outlook and say, you don't necessarily have to be on the phone or talking to somebody you're out and about to actually be doing things that are meaningful. I've had to take a step back and really think through the overall vision and recognize that this is no longer a hustle. This is an organization. This is an empire. There's employees now. We can't just be hustle, grind, all of that. And I'm just being honest. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience, but whatever. So for me, taking that period of I don't call it a shutdown because I don't really like that language, but I do call it a period of just a strategic planning retreat, an offsite. When you worked in corporate America and you and your teams, if you had this experience, we would go somewhere else outside of the building to do our planning for the year as a team. It's like a company offsite, right? And again, I'm not suggesting that you have to spend all this money. I'm just a little extra. I luxury. So you can do this at home. You can do this at Starbucks. You can do this in your co-working space. You can do this at the library, wherever you're comfortable and you're able to get to. But really taking at minimum 1 full day, and sometimes 2, maybe even 3, to just consistently knock this stuff out. Get your planning done. Get your batch creating done, which basically means creating a lot of content at one time that you can schedule out. Whatever you feel like you're really struggling with, really take a step back and think through how you can actually plan all of this stuff in advance and get it done. And then the last mistake that you could be making that's hurting your marketing is thinking that you have to do it all yourself. You absolutely don't. You are more than capable, even with the smallest of budgets, of outsourcing certain things. There's amazing sites like guru.com and fiverr.com and LinkedIn Profinder and Upwork. And there's Facebook groups, people who actually want to barter with you for your services. There's ways for you to get things done for either free or very little money. But I've found in my experience that the things that don't generate revenue take the most time. creating all them graphics in Canva and formatting these workbooks and doing all of those like administrative things, like they're necessary, but they're not always revenue generating activities. And I find that those are going to be some of the first that I get off of my plate so that I can focus on my zone of genius and really get done what I need to get done to generate revenue, right? So thinking through what making like literally, and this is going to help you when you do your offsite or your retreat, really mapping out all of your processes. If you don't have this written down, this is another really good thing to do. You're literally documenting every step you take to do everything in your business. Like if you have a client-facing business like I do as a business coach, okay, well, what steps do I take to generate leads? What steps do I take to book calls? What steps do I take to onboard? What steps do I take to service? What steps do I take to offboard? What steps do I take to post to my Facebook group? Or is there a certain way that I write my captions and design my pictures? Like really documenting those things so that way when you have everything written down, you have a clear picture of literally the full scope of what your business looks like. And it's going to amaze you to see the 17,000 things you've been doing. But then it makes it easy to really pinpoint where you want to outsource and what makes the most sense so that you actually see a return on the investment of outsourcing. I want you to approach everything from a different mindset. I know whenever we bring up this topic of hiring, outsourcing, we talk from a place of lack. I don't have the money. I can't afford it. And it's just like, no. We could think about the budget piece after you figure out what you want to outsource. But I've been able to barter with people, to get certain things done for no money in exchange for giving them coaching or giving them a course or giving them a class. And there's just so many different opportunities for you to get things done, either just for free or for low cost. And we have to think from a place of resourcefulness and abundance and opportunity to really manifest those things, but also just spending the time doing the research, right? Like you might not find the person you want on the first page of Fiverr, but if you go to page 3, you might find the person in your budget to do what it is you need to do, right? So just wanted to offer you that insight. I'm going to wrap up here. I have to head out, but as a reminder, I hope to see all of you in tonight's free webinar called Level Up Your Brand and Your Rates. Is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link to RSVP is in my bio and linked above. And if you're in Chicago, come to the Hashtags and Bombshells Chicago Mastermind Experience. We're going to talk about leveling up your branding, sales, and marketing process. It is an intimate event, so I only have 4 seats left. I hope to see you there. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.